Hey everyone, welcome back to day 26 of 30 Days to Fluent English. I'm Peter, and today we're tackling a challenge that many English learners face: how to speak English faster and more naturally.
That's right. Have you ever been in a conversation where you knew what you wanted to say, but you just couldn't get the words out fast enough? You had to pause, think, and by the time you found the right words, the conversation had already moved on.
We hear this all the time. I understand English, but I speak too slowly. If you feel like your brain is working too hard to form sentences, don't worry, you're not alone.
And here's the good news. Speaking English faster is a skill you can train. Just like learning to ride a bike or play an instrument, you can practice certain techniques to help your brain and mouth work together more smoothly.
Exactly. Speaking faster doesn't mean rushing your words or mumbling. It means speaking smoothly and naturally without long pauses or hesitation.
Think about it. When native speakers talk, they don't pause after every word. Instead, their speech flows effortlessly. And the secret to that fluency? It's a combination of thinking faster, using natural sentence structures, and connecting words in a smooth way.
So in today's episode, we're going to teach you how to train your brain to think in English more quickly.
Use linking sounds to make your sentences flow like a native speaker's.
Stop hesitating and get rid of awkward pauses.
Practice simple exercises to increase your speaking speed.
And don't worry, we're not just going to tell you what to do. We'll guide you through practical, fun exercises that you can start using today.
By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools you need to speak English faster, smoother, and with more confidence.
So are you ready to speed up your English? Let's get started.
Think faster by using simple sentence structures.
The first key to speaking faster is thinking in simple, direct sentences. Many English learners try to make their sentences too long and complicated, which slows them down and makes them hesitate.
That's right. When you try to create long, detailed sentences in your head before speaking, you end up pausing too much. Instead, focus on short, clear sentences. Let's compare some examples.
Here's a sentence that many learners might try to say. I would like to go to the store to buy some food because I am feeling very hungry. Now, let's make it simpler and more natural. I'm hungry. I'll go buy some food.
Another example. Instead of saying, yesterday I went to the park and I had a really good time with my friends, just say, I went to the park yesterday. It was fun.
Shorter sentences help your thoughts flow faster and they sound more natural.
The shorter is faster rule.
Here's a good rule to remember. Shorter sentences help you speak faster and with less hesitation.
Think about native speakers. In daily conversations, they often use short, direct sentences instead of long, complicated ones.
For example, instead of saying, it is a very important thing for me to practice English every day because I want to improve my speaking skills, you can just say, I practice English every day. I want to speak better.
It's still clear, but it's much easier to say quickly.
So before you speak, quickly ask yourself, can I say this in a shorter way? If yes, do it.
How to train your brain to think in simple sentences.
Now, how do you train your brain to think in simple sentences? Here are 3 easy methods.
First, describe things around you using short sentences. For example, instead of saying, this is a cup of coffee that I bought from the store earlier because I felt sleepy and wanted something to help me stay awake, just say, this coffee helps me wake up.
Second, practice answering questions in the shortest way possible. If someone asks, what do you do in your free time? Instead of saying, in my free time, I usually like to watch movies, go for a walk in the park, and sometimes read a book if I have enough time. Just say, I watch movies and go for walks.
Third, use sentence patterns that are commonly used in conversation. For example, when talking about something you like, instead of explaining in a long sentence, just say, I love Italian food. It tastes amazing. When describing your daily routine, instead of listing many details, say, I wake up early and go for a run. Keeping it simple makes it easier to speak fluently.
Practice exercise, think fast. Challenge.
Now, let's do a quick exercise. I'll ask a question, and you need to answer as quickly as possible using a simple sentence.
Here's the first question. What did you do this morning? Think for 2 seconds, then answer.
Your answer should be something simple like, I ate breakfast and went to work. Let's try another one. What do you like to do on weekends? Answer quickly.
A good answer could be, I play soccer and watch movies. The goal is to train your brain to think fast and answer without hesitation.
Recap.
All right, let's quickly review the key points. Shorter sentences help you speak faster and more smoothly. Train your brain to think in simple, clear sentences before speaking. Practice quick responses to everyday questions to reduce hesitation.
Now that you know how to think in simple sentences, let's move on to the next section. How to use linking sounds to make your speech flow naturally.
Master linking sounds. Connected speech.
Now let's talk about one of the most important secrets to speaking faster and more naturally: linking sounds. This is also called connected speech, and it's how native speakers make their words flow smoothly together.
If you've ever listened to native speakers and thought, why do they speak so fast? I can't hear individual words. The reason is linking sounds. Instead of pronouncing each word separately, native speakers connect their words to create a natural rhythm.
Let's break it down into 3 key techniques: linking consonants to vowels, reducing sounds, and blending common phrases.
Linking consonants to vowels.
In English, when one word ends in a consonant and the next word starts with a vowel, they are often linked together. Instead of pausing between words, the last consonant sound moves smoothly into the next word.
Here are some examples. Listen carefully to how the words connect. Go on sounds like go on. Turn off sounds like turn off. Pick it up sounds like pick it up.
If you separate the words, it sounds unnatural. Go on. But when you link them, go on, it flows much more smoothly.
Let's try this together. Repeat after me. Pick it up. Now say it faster. Pick it up. That's how native speakers do it.
Reducing sounds. Weak forms and contractions.
Another reason native speakers sound fast is that they reduce or contract sounds in casual speech. Many small words like to, you, and sound different when spoken naturally.
Let's look at a few common reductions and contractions. I'm gonna call you later. Want to, do you wanna go out? Have to, I have to finish my work. Did ya see that movie?
If you say going too slowly, it's correct, but doesn't sound natural in fast speech. When you say gonna, it flows much better. Let's try it. Repeat after me. I'm gonna call you later.
Now let's try another one. Do you want to go out? Say it faster. Do you want to go out? See how it flows together?
Blending common phrases.
In everyday conversation, native speakers don't always pronounce words separately. Instead, they blend phrases together, making them sound like one long word.
Here are some examples of how common phrases sound in real speech. What are you doing? Sounds like what you doing. How did you do that? Sounds like how'd you do that? Let me help you. Sounds like let me help you. Give me a second. Sounds like give me a second.
You might think these are just slang words, but no. This is how people speak naturally every day. If you use these shortened forms, you'll sound much more fluent. Let's
practice one together. Repeat after me. What are you doing? Now say it naturally. What you doing?
Here's another one. Give me a second. Say it naturally. Give me a second. See how much smoother it sounds?
Practice exercise. Listen and repeat.
Now, let's test your linking skills with a short conversation. I'll say the sentence naturally and you repeat it just like a native speaker would.
First one, I have to go now. Repeat after me.
Next, did you see that? Your turn.
Last one. Let me check for you. Try it.
Great job. Practicing these phrases will help you speak faster and more naturally.
Recap.
Let's review what we learned about linking sounds. Link consonants to vowels to make speech flow smoothly. Reduce small words like going to, gonna, and did you. Did ya? Blend common phrases like what are you doing? What you doing? Practice speaking these connected forms to sound more natural and fluent.
Now that you know how to link your words, let's move on to the next section, how to stop hesitating when speaking.
Stop hesitating with filler words and thought groups.
One of the biggest reasons people speak slowly is hesitation. Have you ever started a sentence and then suddenly stopped because you couldn't find the right word? Maybe you were thinking too much about grammar or trying to translate from your native language.
That's completely normal, but too much hesitation can make conversations difficult and frustrating. The good news is there are two powerful techniques that can help you. Using filler words and speaking in thought groups.
Let's break them down one by one.
Using filler words to avoid pauses.
In every language, people use filler words when they need time to think. In English, these words help keep the conversation going, even when you're searching for the right words.
Instead of stopping and staying silent, try using filler words to sound more natural and keep your speech flowing.
Here are some of the most common English filler words and phrases. Well, I think it's a good idea. Actually, I haven't decided yet. Let me think. Maybe we should try the new restaurant. You know, it's really hard to wake up early. I mean, I don't really like spicy food. It was like the best trip ever.
These words don't change the meaning of your sentence, but they give you extra time to think. Instead of awkward silence, you sound more fluent and relaxed.
Let's try it in a sentence. Imagine someone asks you, "What's your favorite movie?" Instead of pausing and thinking for too long, you can say, "Well, I really like action movies. Actually, my favorite is Inception."
See how that flows more naturally? Using filler words helps you gain confidence and keeps your speech smooth.
Speaking in thought groups.
Another way to stop hesitation is to stop thinking about individual words and start thinking in thought groups.
A thought group is a small chunk of words that naturally go together. Instead of pausing after every word, you pause after a complete idea. This helps you sound more fluent and confident.
Let's look at an example. Imagine you're saying this sentence, "I am going to the store." Pausing after every word sounds unnatural.
Now let's break it into thought groups and say it smoothly. I'm going to the store. Now it sounds much better.
Here's another example. Instead of saying, "She is a really good friend,"
Say it in thought groups. She's a really good friend.
by grouping words together, your speech sounds more natural, and you don't have to pause after every word.
Practice exercise. Chunk and speak.
Let's do a quick practice. I will read a sentence word by word first, and it will sound unnatural. Then, I'll read it again in thought groups. Try repeating it after me.
First sentence, I went to the Ends Park yesterday. Now, let's say it in thought groups. I went as to the park yesterday.
Next one. Can you help me with this? Now in thought groups. Can you help me with this?
Try one more. This is a beautiful interior place. Now say it naturally. This is our beautiful place.
Great job. If you practice speaking in thought groups, your speech will sound more fluent and confident.
Recap.
Let's review what we learned today. Use filler words like well, actually, and let me think to avoid long pauses. Break sentences into thought groups instead of pausing after every word. Practice repeating sentences with natural rhythm to build fluency.
Now that you know how to stop hesitating, let's move on to a fun challenge that will help you speak even faster. The 1-minute speaking challenge.
Speed up with the 1-minute speaking challenge.
Now let's talk about an exercise that will force you to speak faster and more naturally. The 1-minute speaking challenge.
This is one of the best ways to train your brain to think and speak quickly. It's a simple but powerful exercise, and the more you do it, the faster and more confident you'll become in English.
Here's how it works. You pick a topic, set a timer for 1 minute, and speak nonstop about that topic. Don't stop. Don't hesitate. Just keep talking.
The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to train your brain to keep going, even when you're not sure what to say next. This helps reduce hesitation and makes you more comfortable speaking naturally.
Why this challenge works.
So why is the 1-minute speaking challenge so effective? Let's look at 3 key benefits. It forces you to think in English. When you speak for 1 full minute without stopping, your brain has no time to translate. You have to think in English, which helps you build fluency.
It reduces hesitation. Since you're not allowed to stop or pause too much, you train yourself to keep speaking even if you make mistakes. Over time, your confidence will grow.
It increases speaking speed. By doing this regularly, your mouth and brain will work together faster, making it easier to speak without long pauses.
Think of it like exercising at the gym. The more you train your speaking muscles, the stronger and faster they become.
How to do the 1-minute speaking challenge.
Now let's break it down into simple steps so you can try this today. Step 1. Pick a topic. Choose something easy and familiar. It could be my morning routine, my favorite food, or what I did yesterday.
Step 2. Set a timer for 1 minute. Use your phone, a stopwatch, or any timer. Once you start, keep talking until the timer stops.
Step 3. Speak nonstop. Don't pause. Don't worry about mistakes. Just keep going. If you don't know a word, describe it in another way.
Step 4. Record yourself. Optional but helpful. If possible, record your speech and listen to it. You'll notice where you pause, hesitate, or struggle with pronunciation.
Let's try it right now. Your topic is describe your last weekend. Set your timer for 1 minute and start talking.
Pause this episode, do the challenge, and come back when you're done.
How did it go? If it felt difficult, that's okay. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Extra challenge. Speed round.
Want to make it even more fun? Try the speed round challenge.
Here's how it works. Instead of 1 minute, give yourself just 30 seconds to speak about a random topic. Because you have less time, you'll naturally speak faster.
Here's an example. If the topic is my favorite hobby, you might say, I love painting. It helps me relax. I usually paint landscapes, and my favorite colors are blue and green.
Notice how it's short, simple, and fast? Try it out. Pick a topic and do a 30-second speed round.
Recap.
Let's quickly review the 1-minute speaking challenge. Pick a topic and set a timer for 1 minute. Speak nonstop, even if you make mistakes. Practice daily to build fluency and speed. Try the speed round for an extra challenge.
Your challenge today, try the 1-minute speaking challenge and the 30-second speed round. The more you practice, the faster and smoother your English will become.
Now that you're speaking faster, let's move on to our language and cultural expansion section.
Language and cultural expansion.
In English-speaking cultures, speaking fluently is not just about speed. It's about sounding natural and confident.
That's right. Native speakers don't actually speak super fast. They just connect words smoothly and avoid long pauses.
And in different English-speaking countries, speed varies. Americans tend to speak faster than British speakers, but Australians often shorten words.
So the key is not just to speak quickly, but to speak smoothly and naturally.
Challenge, task, and conclusion.
All right, here's your challenge for today.
Step 1. Pick a simple topic and do the 1-minute speaking challenge. Talk nonstop for 1 minute. Step 2. Practice linking words together. Try saying, "What you doing?" instead of, "What are you doing?" Step 3. Try using a filler word in a real conversation.
And in the comments, tell us, what's the hardest part about speaking faster?
Tomorrow, we'll talk about how to train your ears to understand native speakers better. Don't miss it.
See you tomorrow, and until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and enjoy learning English.
Bye for now. Hey everyone, welcome back to day 27 of 30 Days to Fluent English. I'm Peter, and today we're focusing on a challenge that almost every English learner faces: understanding native speakers.
Have you ever watched a movie, listened to a podcast, or talked to a native speaker and thought, wait, I know these words, but why can't I understand them when they speak so fast? If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone.
That's right. Many learners feel confident reading and writing in English, but when it comes to listening, it feels like a completely different language. Native speakers don't always pronounce every word clearly. Instead, they connect words, reduce sounds, and speak at a natural pace that can feel overwhelming.
But here's the good news. Just like an athlete can train their muscles to run faster, you can train your ears to catch fast English. Listening is a skill, and with the right techniques, you'll be able to understand native speakers much more easily.
Think of it this way. When you first learned to drive, it felt overwhelming, right? There were so many things to focus on at once: the steering wheel, the mirrors, the signals, the speed. But after practice, it became automatic. Understanding spoken English works the same way. The more you train your ears, the more natural it will feel.
So in today's episode, we're going to break it all down for you. By the end of this episode, you'll know why native speakers sound so fast and how to keep up with them. How to recognize and understand common sound reductions. Effective listening training techniques that actually work. Fun and easy ways to improve your listening every day.
So, if you've ever felt frustrated because you can't understand fast English, this episode is for you. Grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's start training your ears to catch every word.
Let's get started.
Why native speakers sound so fast.
Before we talk about how to train your ears, let's first understand why native speakers sound so fast. Many learners think native speakers talk quickly on purpose, but that's not actually true.
Yes, the speed isn't just about how fast they move their mouths, it's about how they connect words and reduce sounds. This is called connected speech, and it's what makes English sound different from how it looks on paper.
Let's break it down into 3 main reasons why English sounds fast.
Native speakers link words together.
In written English, we see words as separate, but in spoken English, native speakers don't pause between every word. Instead, they connect sounds to make speech flow naturally.
Let's look at an example. If you say each word separately, you might say, "What do you want to do?" But in natural speech, a native speaker will say, "What do you want to do?"
Here are more examples of how words get linked together. Did you eat? Sounds like, did you eat? What are you doing? Sounds like, what you doing? I have to go. Sounds like, I have to go.
If you expect to hear every word clearly separated, it will feel like native speakers are talking too fast. But once you recognize these patterns, everything will start making sense.
Native speakers reduce sounds.
Another reason English sounds fast is because native speakers don't fully pronounce every word. They reduce sounds to make speech smoother.
For example, instead of clearly saying, "I don't know," many native speakers just say, "I don't know."
Here are some more common sound reductions. Give me becomes gimme. Give me a second. Let me becomes lemme. Let me see. Going to becomes gonna. I'm gonna call you later. Want to becomes wanna. Do you want to go out?
These reductions make speech faster and more natural. The key is not to fight them, but to train your ears to recognize them.
Native speakers use rhythm, not individual words.
Think about music. When you hear a song, you don't listen to individual notes, you hear the rhythm. English works the same way. Native speakers don't focus on each word separately. They speak in rhythm and thought groups.
For example, instead of saying, I am going to the coin store, word by word, a native speaker would say, I'm going to the store.
Let's practice this together. Repeat after me.
Instead of saying, can you help me, one word at a time, say, can you help me?
One more. Instead of saying, I don't know, say, I don't know.
See how much smoother that sounds? This is why listening to English as a rhythm, rather than just words, will help you understand it much faster.
Quick listening challenge. Can you catch these?
All right, now that you know why native speakers sound fast, let's test your ears. I'm going to say a few common phrases the way native speakers do, and you try to guess what they mean.
First one, what's up?
That's right. It means, what's up?
Next one, do you want to go?
It means, do you want to go?
One more, I have to leave now.
That means, I have to leave now.
The more you train your ears to recognize these changes, the easier it will be to understand native speakers in real life.
All right, let's review why native speakers sound so fast. They link words together so sentences sound like one long word. They reduce sounds, making speech more fluid and natural. They speak with rhythm, grouping words instead of saying them separately. Once you recognize these patterns, you'll understand spoken English much faster.
Now that you know why English sounds fast, let's move on to the next part, how to train your ears to catch these sounds easily.
Common sound reductions in English.
Now that we know why native speakers sound so fast, let's talk about one of the biggest reasons, sound reductions. Native speakers don't pronounce every word clearly. Instead, they shorten or change sounds to make speech flow faster and more naturally.
Yes, when you first learn English, you might expect every word to be pronounced clearly. But in real conversations, many sounds disappear, change, or get linked together. That's why it can be difficult to understand fast English.
But don't worry. If you learn these common sound reductions, you'll start recognizing them easily. Let's go through some of the most important ones.
T sound changes in American English.
In American English, the T sound often changes, especially when it's between two vowel sounds. Instead of a clear T, it sounds more like a soft D. This makes speech flow more smoothly.
Here are some examples. Water sounds like water. Better sounds like better. Daughter sounds like daughter. Got it sounds like God did.
If you listen to Americans speak, you'll notice that they almost never say a hard T in these words. Instead of I got it, you'll hear I got it.
Let's practice. Repeat after me.
I need some water. Now say it faster. I need some water.
Another one. She's much better now. Now say, she's much better now.
Great job. The more you recognize this pattern, the easier it will be to understand native speakers.
Dropping sounds in fast speech.
Another common reduction is dropping sounds completely. In fast speech, native speakers often remove small sounds to make speech flow faster.
Here are some examples where sounds disappear in spoken English. I don't know. I don't know. Give me. Gimme. Let me. Because. Cuz.
When spoken slowly, you might hear, let me help you. But in real conversation, it sounds like, let me help you.
Let's practice together. Repeat after me.
I don't know. Now say, I don't know.
Give me a second. Now say, give me a second.
Let me see. Now say, let me see.
Once you get used to these reductions, it will be much easier to follow fast conversations.
Linking sounds, words blending together.
Another reason native speakers sound fast is that they blend words together. Instead of saying each word separately, they link words to make speech smoother.
For example, instead of saying, did you eat? A native speaker might say, did ya eat?
Here are more examples. What are you doing? What you doing? Did you go? Did you go? How did you do that? How'd you do that? Let me help you. Let me help you.
This happens because English has a natural rhythm, and linking sounds make speech smoother. Let's practice a few together.
What are you doing? Now say, what you doing?
Did you see that? Now say, did you see that?
Let me check for you. Now say, let me check for you.
Perfect. If you practice listening for these linking sounds, conversations will start to sound much clearer.
Quick listening challenge. Can you catch these?
All right, now that we've learned the most common reductions, let's test your ears. I'll say a sentence the way a native speaker would, and you try to figure out what it means.
First one, I don't know what happened.
That's right, it means, I don't know what happened.
Next one, what you gonna do?
It means, what are you going to do?
One more, let me check real quick.
That means, let me check real quick.
Great job! The more you practice listening to these reductions, the easier it will be to catch them in real conversations.
Let's quickly review the most common sound reductions. T sound changes. Water, water, better, better. Dropping sounds. I don't know. I don't know. Let me. Let me. Linking sounds. Did you? Did ya? What are you? Whatcha? Recognizing these patterns will help you understand native speakers much faster.
Now that you know these common reductions, let's move on to the next section. How to train your ears to catch fast English.
How to train your ears to catch fast English.
Now that we've learned why native speakers sound fast and how they reduce sounds, it's time to train your ears. Listening is just like exercising. If you practice the right way, you'll get stronger and faster at understanding spoken English.
Many learners make the mistake of just listening more without a strategy. But to really improve, you need active listening techniques that will help your brain recognize words, patterns, and rhythm faster.
So, let's go through 3 powerful methods to improve your listening skills.
Listen to slow English first, then speed it up.
One of the best ways to train your ears is to start slow and gradually increase the speed. This helps your brain adjust to natural speech without feeling overwhelmed.
Here's how to do it. Step 1. Choose an audio clip, a podcast, or YouTube video with subtitles. Step 2. Listen to it at normal speed while reading along with the transcript. Step 3. Listen again without reading. Try to understand as much as possible. Step 4. Increase the speed slightly, for example, 1.25x speed on YouTube or podcast apps. Step 5. Keep listening at faster speeds until your ears adjust.
At first, it might feel too fast, but your brain will quickly get used to it. Over time, you'll find that regular speed English sounds much easier.
Many learners who try this method notice improvement in just a few weeks.
Use the pause and repeat method.
If you struggle with fast conversations, another great technique is pause and repeat. This method trains your brain to recognize common speech patterns and linking sounds.
Here's how to do it. Step 1. Listen to a short sentence from a podcast, movie, or YouTube video. Step 2. Pause the audio after the sentence. Step 3. Repeat the sentence out loud, copying the speaker's speed, tone, and linking sounds. Step 4. Play the sentence again to check if you match the pronunciation.
For example, if you hear, "What you gonna do?" instead of, "What are you gonna do?" try repeating it exactly as the speaker says it.
This exercise helps you train your ears and your mouth at the same time. The more you do it, the more natural these sounds will become.
Play the Guess the Missing Word game.
A fun way to train your ears is by playing a game called Guess the Missing Word. This helps your brain fill in the gaps just like native speakers do.
Here's how it works. Step 1. Choose an English conversation or interview without subtitles. Step 2. Listen to a short section, 5 to 10 seconds. Step 3. Write down what you think you heard. If you're unsure about a word, make a guess. Step 4. Check the transcript or subtitles to see what you missed. Step 5. Repeat the section and listen again, now focusing on the missing words.
At first, you might only catch 50% of the words, but after a few weeks of this exercise, you'll start recognizing more and more.
Let's try a quick challenge now. I'll say a sentence naturally and you try to catch every word. Ready?
Okay, here's the sentence. Give me a sec, I gotta grab my phone.
Can you hear all the words? I said, give me a second, I have to grab my phone. But in natural speech, it sounded like, give me a sec, I gotta grab my phone.
If you do this every day, your ears will quickly adapt to fast speech.
Shadowing, the fastest way to improve listening and speaking.
Finally, let's talk about the shadowing technique. This is one of the most effective ways to improve both listening and speaking fluency.
Shadowing means listening to an audio clip and immediately repeating what the speaker says at the same speed with the same pronunciation.
Here's how to do it. Step 1. Choose an English podcast, TED Talk, or news clip. Step 2. Listen to one sentence carefully. Step 3. Repeat it immediately, copying the speaker's pronunciation and rhythm. Step 4. Keep going for a few minutes without pausing. Try to match the speaker's speed.
At first, it may feel difficult, but over time, your listening and speaking skills will improve dramatically.
If you practice shadowing for just 5 minutes a day, you'll see a big improvement in your fluency.
Let's review the 4 best techniques to train your ears. Start slow, then increase speed to get used to fast English. Use pause and repeat to train your ears and mouth together. Play Guess the Missing Word to recognize real spoken English. Practice shadowing daily to improve both listening and speaking skills.
Your challenge today: pick one of these exercises and try it. Whether it's listening to a podcast at 1.25x speed, repeating a short sentence, or doing a shadowing session, start training your ears today.
Now that you know how to train your ears, let's move on to the cultural side of listening. How different English-speaking countries use speed, slang, and accents.
Language and cultural expansion.
In English-speaking cultures, people expect you to catch fast speech, but they also understand that learners need time to adjust.
Yes, if you're having trouble, it's okay to say, "Could you repeat that more slowly? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again? Could you say that in a different way?"
In the US and Canada, people are usually happy to slow down and repeat if you ask politely.
And in the UK and Australia, people sometimes use more slang or fast speech, so it's helpful to watch TV shows or listen to podcasts from those countries to get used to the accents.
The key is to expose yourself to different English accents and practice every day.
Challenge, task, and conclusion.
All right, here's your challenge for today.
Step 1. Listen to a short audio clip and write down what you hear. Try to guess missing words. Step 2. Practice shadowing. Pause and repeat sentences exactly as the speaker says them. Step 3. Try using one reduced phrase in a real conversation, like gonna instead of going to.
And in the comments, tell us, what's the hardest part about understanding fast English?
Tomorrow, we'll talk about how to sound more like a native speaker using rhythm and intonation. Don't miss it.
See you tomorrow. And until then, keep listening, keep practicing, and enjoy learning English.
Bye for now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to day 28 of 30 Days to Fluent English. I'm Peter, and today we're diving into one of the most important parts of speaking fluently, sounding more like a native speaker.
That's right. Many English learners focus on vocabulary and grammar, which are important. But if you really want to sound natural, you need to pay attention to rhythm and intonation.
Think about it. Have you ever spoken English and felt like something was missing? Maybe people understood you, but your speech sounded a little robotic or unnatural.
That happens when you don't use the right rhythm and intonation. Native speakers don't speak in a flat, monotone way. Instead, their speech has a natural flow, with stressed words, rising and falling tones, and a musical-like rhythm.
Imagine English as a song. If you say every word slowly and evenly, it sounds unnatural. But if you stress the right words and let your voice rise and fall naturally, your speech will sound fluent and expressive, just like a native speaker's.
So today, we'll break it all down for you. We're going to show you how to understand the rhythm of English and stress the right words, use intonation to make your speech more natural and expressive, avoid common pronunciation mistakes that make English sound unnatural, and practice with fun exercises to improve your fluency every day.
By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand how native speakers sound, you'll be able to sound more like one yourself.
So if you're ready to take your English to the next level, let's get started.
Understanding the rhythm of English.
First, let's talk about rhythm. English has a natural rhythm that makes it sound smooth and fluent. But here's something important. English is a stress-timed language. That means some words are stressed more than others, and some words are spoken very quickly.
Many learners try to pronounce every word clearly and evenly, but that's not how native speakers talk. In natural speech, important words are stressed and smaller words are reduced. This is what makes English sound fast and connected.
Let's compare two sentences. Listen to the difference. I am going to the store. Every word is equally stressed. It sounds robotic. I'm going to the store. Some words are reduced and the stress is on going and store. This sounds much more natural.
Let's try another one. Listen to these two versions, slow and unnatural. I want to go to the movies. Natural rhythm, I want to go to the movies.
Do you hear the difference? The stressed words are want, go, and movies. Everything else is spoken more quickly.
This is what makes English sound fast and smooth. When you speak, focus on the important words and let the smaller words flow naturally.
How to identify stressed words in English.
Now, how do you know which words to stress? It's actually very simple.
In most English sentences, we stress content words. These are the words that carry meaning. Nouns, store, movies, dog. Main verbs, go, eat, love. Adjectives, big, fast, delicious. Adverbs, quickly, never, always.
Meanwhile, function words, like the, to, and is, are usually not stressed. These words are spoken quickly and softly.
Let's test it. Listen to this sentence and find the stressed words. She's going to the store to buy some milk.
Did you notice? The stressed words are going store, buy, and milk. Everything else is quieter and faster.
Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. I'm going to the store.
Again with natural rhythm. I'm going to the store.
Great job. The more you practice, the more natural and fluent your English will sound.
Intonation, how your voice moves up and down.
Now that you understand rhythm, let's talk about intonation. How your voice moves up and down when you speak. Intonation is super important because it affects the meaning and emotion of your sentence.
If you speak with flat intonation, your English will sound robotic or boring. But if you use natural intonation, your speech will sound engaging and expressive.
Let's start with a simple example. Listen to these two versions. Flat and unnatural. You are coming with us. Natural intonation. You're coming with us. Voice rises on coming and falls on us.
Do you hear the difference? The second sentence sounds more friendly and natural.
Rising versus falling intonation.
Intonation changes depending on the type of sentence. Let's look at the two most common types, rising intonation and falling intonation.
First, we use rising intonation when we ask yes, no questions, or when we're surprised, are you sure? Voice goes up at the end. Is this your bag?
Now, let's try falling intonation. This is used for statements and WH questions. What, where, when, why, how. Where are you from? Voice goes down at the end. How do you do that?
Let's practice. Repeat after me. Do you like coffee?
Now try. Where do you live?
Great, using the right intonation makes your English sound much more natural.
How intonation changes meaning.
Intonation isn't just about making speech sound nice. It also changes the meaning of what you say.
Let's take a simple word, really. The meaning changes depending on the intonation. Really? Surprised? Are you serious? Really? Confident? That's true. Really? Skeptical? I don't believe you.
Let's try another example with the phrase, I don't know. Flat, I don't know. Bored, uninterested. Rising, I don't know. Unsure, questioning. Falling, I don't know. Confident, final answer.
See, just changing your intonation makes a huge difference.
Now, let's practice. Say, I don't know.
Now try, I don't know.
Excellent. The more you listen and practice, the better you'll understand and use intonation naturally.
Let's quickly review what we learned today. English rhythm is stress-timed. Important words are stressed. Small words are reduced. Content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives are stressed. Function words, the, to, and are not. Rising intonation is used for yes, no questions and surprise. Falling intonation is used for statements and WH questions. Intonation changes meaning. Practice with simple words like really or I don't know.
Now that you understand rhythm and intonation, let's move on to common mistakes and how to fix them.
Common mistakes and how to fix them.
Now let's talk about some common mistakes learners make when speaking English and how to fix them.
One mistake is speaking too flatly, not using any rhythm or intonation. If you speak without stress or intonation, your English sounds robotic and hard to understand.
Another mistake is stressing every single word. For example, I am going to the store to buy some milk. I'm going to the store to buy some milk.
And some learners use the wrong intonation for questions. For example, when asking a yes/no question, your voice should rise at the end. Do you like coffee? Are you coming?
But for WH questions like what, where, when, why, how, your voice should fall at the end. Where are you from? How do you do that?
Practicing these small details makes a huge difference in how natural your English sounds.
Exercises to improve your rhythm and intonation.
Now let's practice some simple exercises to improve your rhythm and intonation.
First, try clapping along to sentences. Take a sentence like, I'm going to the store to buy some milk. Now clap on the stressed words, I'm going to the store to buy some milk.
This helps you feel the natural rhythm of English.
Second, listen and imitate native speakers. Pick a short clip from a TV show or podcast and copy the speaker's rhythm and intonation exactly.
And third, record yourself speaking and compare it to a native speaker. Listen carefully to where their voice goes up and down and try to match it.
Doing these exercises every day will help you sound more fluent and natural.
Language and cultural expansion.
In English-speaking countries, rhythm and intonation change depending on the situation.
For example, in American English, people often use rising intonation to sound more friendly and engaging. Hey, how's it going? That's awesome.
But in British English, the rhythm is often more even and neutral. How do you do? That's quite nice.
Learning different styles of intonation can help you adapt to different English accents.
Challenge task and conclusion.
All right, here's your challenge for today.
Step 1, pick a sentence and clap along to the rhythm. Step 2, listen to a native speaker and imitate their intonation. Step 3, record yourself speaking and compare it to a native speaker.
And in the comments, tell us, what's the hardest part about improving your rhythm and intonation?
Tomorrow is our final episode. Well, talk about how to keep improving after this challenge. Don't miss it.
See you tomorrow. And until then, keep practicing and enjoy learning English.
Bye for now. Hey everyone. Welcome back to day 29 of 30 Days to Fluent English. I'm Peter, and today's episode is going to be really important because we're talking about the most common mistakes English learners make and how to fix them.
That's right. Have you ever made a mistake in English and thought, why do I keep getting this wrong? Or maybe you've been speaking for years, but certain errors still come up in your conversations.
If that sounds familiar, don't worry. Making mistakes is part of learning, but the key is to recognize them and correct them so you don't keep repeating them.
Sometimes, small mistakes, like using the wrong preposition, pronouncing a word incorrectly, or translating from your native language, can make your English sound unnatural or even confusing.
But here's the good news. Once you identify these mistakes and practice fixing them, you'll see a huge improvement in your fluency and confidence.
That's why, in today's episode, we're going to cover common grammar mistakes that make sentences sound unnatural, pronunciation errors that can change the meaning of your words, listening and speaking mistakes that slow down your fluency, and how to fix these mistakes permanently so you never make them again.
By the end of this episode, you'll not only know what to avoid, but you'll also have practical strategies to improve your English quickly and effectively.
So, if you're ready to take your English to the next level, let's get started.
Common grammar mistakes and how to fix them.
Let's start with grammar mistakes. These are some of the most common errors that learners make. And even though they seem small, they can change the meaning of a sentence or make your English sound unnatural.
The good news is, once you know what these mistakes are, you can fix them quickly and avoid them in the future.
Mistake number 1. Forgetting the third persons in present simple.
One of the most common mistakes learners make is forgetting to add an S to verbs when using the third-person singular he, she, it in the present simple tense.
For example, a learner might say, he walked to work every day. Incorrect. The verb is missing the third persons.
The correct way to say it is, he walks to work every day.
This mistake happens because in many languages, verbs don't change in this way. But in English, when we talk about he, she, or it, we must always add an S to the verb.
Let's try some quick practice. Listen to these sentences and repeat after me. She likes coffee. He speaks English very well. It rains a lot in winter.
Great job. Remember, this rule only applies to the present simple tense. If you're using the past or future, you don't need the -s.
Mistake number 2. Mixing up past simple and present perfect.
Another very common mistake is confusing the past simple and present perfect tenses.
Many learners say something like, I have seen him yesterday. Incorrect. The present perfect doesn't work with specific time words like yesterday.
The correct way to say this is, I saw him yesterday. Use the past simple for specific times.
So when do we use the past simple and when do we use the present perfect?
Here's a simple rule to help you remember. Use past simple, saw, went, ate, when talking about a specific time in the past. I saw her last night. Specific time, last night. He visited New York in 2020. Specific time, 2020. Use present perfect, have seen, have gone, have eaten, when talking about an experience or something that has happened before, but we don't say exactly when. I have seen that movie. We don't say when. She has traveled to Japan. We know she has done it, but we don't say when.
Let's practice. Try choosing the correct sentence. I have seen him last week. Correct? I saw him last week. She has gone to France 3 times. Correct? She has gone to France 3 times.
Awesome. Just remember, use past simple when you say when, and present perfect when the time isn't specific.
Mistake number 3. Using the wrong preposition.
Another common mistake is using the wrong preposition. This happens because prepositions don't always translate directly between languages.
For example, many learners say, I'm good in English. Incorrect. The wrong preposition is used.
The correct phrase is, I'm good at English.
Here are some more common mistakes with prepositions. I'm interested about music. Incorrect. I'm interested in music. Correct. She's married with a doctor. Incorrect. She's married to a doctor. Correct? Let's discuss about the problem. Incorrect. About is unnecessary. Let's discuss the problem. Correct.
Prepositions are tricky because they don't always follow a clear pattern. The best way to learn them is to remember common phrases and practice using them in real conversations.
Mistake number 4. Using much instead of many, and vice versa.
A lot of learners get confused about when to use much and many.
The rule is simple. Use much with uncountable nouns, things you can't count one by one. I don't have much time. There isn't much water left. Use many with countable nouns, things you can count. I have many friends. There are many books in my room.
So, which one is correct? I don't have many money. Correct. I don't have much money. There aren't many chairs in the room. Correct. There aren't many chairs in the room.
Nice job. Just remember, if you can count it, use many. If you can't count it, use much.
Let's quickly review the grammar mistakes we talked about today. Always add an S to verbs in the third person singular. He, she, it. Use past simple for specific times and present perfect for experiences. Be careful with prepositions. Learn them in phrases. Use much for uncountable nouns and many for countable nouns.
Your challenge for today. Try making 3 sentences using these correct grammar rules. The more you practice, the more natural your English will sound.
Now that we've fixed grammar mistakes, let's move on to another important topic. Common pronunciation mistakes and how to correct them.
Common pronunciation mistakes and how to fix them.
Now that we've covered common grammar mistakes, let's talk about another big challenge for English learners, pronunciation mistakes.
Pronunciation is important because even if your grammar is perfect, if people can't understand you, communication becomes difficult.
The good news is, once you identify these pronunciation mistakes and practice fixing them, your speech will become clearer and more natural.
Mistake number 1. Dropping final sounds.
One of the biggest pronunciation mistakes is not pronouncing the final sounds of words. Many learners tend to drop the last consonant in a word, especially sounds like T, D, and S.
For example, some learners say, "What time is I?" missing the final T in what and it.
The correct pronunciation is, what time is it? Each word is clearly pronounced.
Here are more examples where learners often drop sounds. I want to go home. Incorrect, missing the final T in want. I want to go home. Correct, want should have a clear T sound. She like pizza. Incorrect, missing the final S in likes. She likes pizza. Correct, the S sound must be heard.
The problem is when you drop final sounds, your words can be misunderstood or sound incomplete. So always check that you're pronouncing the full word.
Let's practice. Repeat after me, making sure to pronounce every final sound clearly. What time is it? I want to go home. She likes pizza.
Great job. Keep practicing to make sure your words sound complete and clear.
Mistake number 2. Mixing up similar sounds. Minimal pairs.
Another common mistake is confusing similar sounds, especially vowel sounds. This can completely change the meaning of your sentence.
For example, many learners mix up ship and sheep. If you say, I like that sheep, it sounds like you're talking about an animal.
But if you meant a large boat, you should say, I like that ship.
Here are some other common pronunciation mistakes learners make with similar sounds.
If you mix these up, it can change the meaning of your sentence. So, practicing minimal pairs, words that sound similar but have different vowel sounds, is a great way to improve.
Let's try a quick pronunciation practice. Repeat after me. I like that ship. I like that sheep. He wants to live here. He wants to leave here.
Nice work. Practicing these words daily will help you hear and say the difference more clearly.
Mistake number 3. Long and short vowel confusion.
English has both short and long vowel sounds, and many learners don't realize how much this changes the meaning of words.
For example, listen to the difference between sit and seat. Sit, short I sound, /sit / also means to take a seat. Seat, long a sound, t, means the place where you sit.
Here are more examples of short versus long vowels that learners often confuse.
If you say, I want to sit there, but pronounce it as I want a seat there, it can sound strange or confusing.
Let's practice. Repeat after me. I want to sit. I want to take a seat.
Perfect. Focus on making the vowel sounds clear and distinct.
Mistake number 4. Stressing the wrong syllable.
Another common pronunciation mistake is putting stress on the wrong syllable in a word. This can make words difficult to understand.
For example, let's take the word record. If you say it like this, I want to record a video. Incorrect. Wrong stress.
The correct way is, I want to record a video. Stress is on the first syllable.
Here are more words that change meaning based on stress. Noun, stress on first syllable. Verb, stress on second syllable. Record, a music record. Record, to record a video. Contract, a legal document. Contract, to make smaller. Present, a gift. Present, to introduce something.
Let's practice. Repeat after me. This is a record. I want to record a song.
Great job. Learning stress patterns makes your speech sound clearer and more professional.
Let's review today's pronunciation mistakes. Always pronounce the final sounds of words. Practice minimal pairs, ship versus sheep, live versus leave. Be careful with long versus short vowel sounds, bit versus beat. Use correct syllable stress to make words clear.
Your challenge today: choose one of these pronunciation mistakes and practice it by saying 5 sentences correctly.
Now, let's move on to common listening and speaking mistakes and how to fix them.
Common listening and speaking mistakes and how to fix them.
Now that we've covered grammar and pronunciation mistakes, let's talk about another big challenge: listening and speaking mistakes.
Many learners struggle with understanding fast English and speaking fluently, not because they don't know enough words, but because they're making small mistakes that slow them down.
The good news is, once you identify these mistakes and fix them, your English will sound much more natural.
Mistake number 1. Thinking in your native language before speaking.
One of the most common mistakes is translating sentences in your head before speaking. This makes you speak slowly and can lead to unnatural sentence structures.
For example, a learner might think in their native language first, then translate word by word into English. This often results in awkward sentences that don't sound natural.
Instead of translating, try thinking directly in English. Start with simple words and short sentences.
For example, if you want to say, I need to buy some groceries because I'm out of food. But if translating takes too long, try starting with a simple version. I need food. I will go to the store.
This way, you train your brain to think in English without translating. The more you practice, the faster you will speak.
Try this exercise. Next time you want to say something in English, force yourself to say it in simple words without translating.
Mistake number 2. Not using contractions.
Another mistake is not using contractions when speaking. Native speakers almost always use contractions in casual conversation.
For example, many learners say, I am going to the store. I do not have food. Too formal, sounds unnatural.
The natural way to say this is, I'm going to the store. I don't have food. More natural.
Here are some common contractions to use in daily conversations. Full form, contraction, I am, I'm, you are, you're, he is, she is, it is, he's, she's, it's, do not, don't, does not, doesn't, will not, won't, going to, gonna.
Let's practice. Repeat after me. I am happy. I'm happy. She is late. She's late. I do not know. I don't know.
Good job. Using contractions will help your speech sound faster and more natural.
Mistake number 3. Not using filler words.
Many learners speak in a very direct way, which can sometimes make their English sound unnatural or too robotic. Native speakers often use filler words to make their speech sound smoother.
For example, instead of saying, I like movies, too short sounds unnatural.
A native speaker might say, well, I guess I really like movies. Sounds more natural.
Here are some common filler words that native speakers use. Filler word. How it's used. Well, starting a thought, well, I think it's a great idea, To keep the conversation going, it was, really fun. To clarify something, it wasn't that bad. Like, to pause naturally, it was like amazing. Actually. To add emphasis, actually, I really like this place.
Let's practice. Try adding filler words to these sentences. I like music. Well, I guess I really like music. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Great job. Using filler words will make your speech sound more natural and conversational.
Mistake number 4. Speaking too slowly or too fast.
Another big mistake learners make is speaking either too slowly or too fast. If you speak too slowly, it can sound unnatural. But if you speak too fast, it can be hard to understand.
Here's a simple way to fix this. Focus on speaking at a natural pace and using natural pauses.
Let's compare two versions of the same sentence. Slow and unnatural. Hello. My name is John. First like. Playing soccer. Too fast and unclear. Hello, my name is John. I like playing soccer.
Now here's the correct way, with natural pauses. Hello, my name is John and I like playing soccer.
The key is to group words together naturally and not rush your speech. Try recording yourself and listening back to check your speed.
Let's review today's common speaking and listening mistakes. Don't translate word for word. Think directly in English. Use contractions to sound more natural. I am, I'm, do not, don't. Use filler words like well or I mean to make conversation smoother. Speak at a natural pace. Don't go too fast or too slow.
Your challenge for today, try one of these tips in a real conversation. You'll notice an immediate improvement in your fluency.
Now, let's move on to how culture affects language and communication.
Language and cultural expansion.
In English-speaking cultures, people focus more on clear communication than perfect grammar. But fixing common mistakes will help you sound more professional and confident.
For example, in the US and Canada, people expect direct communication, but they also use a lot of polite phrases. Instead of saying, give me the menu, people usually say, could I have the menu, please?
And in the UK, people use a lot of indirect speech to sound polite. Instead of saying, I don't like this, they might say, I'm not sure this is exactly what I expected.
Understanding these small cultural differences can help you communicate more naturally and effectively.
Challenge, task, and conclusion.
All right, here's your challenge for today.
Step 1. Pick one grammar mistake from today's lesson and practice correcting it in a sentence. Step 2. Practice one pronunciation mistake. Record yourself and listen to check for errors. Step 3. Use a contraction or filler word in a conversation today.
And in the comments, tell us, what's the hardest mistake for you to fix in English?
Tomorrow is our final episode. We'll talk about how to keep improving your English after this challenge. Don't miss it.
See you tomorrow. And until then, keep practicing and enjoy learning English.
Bye for now.
Hey everyone. Welcome to day 30 of 30 Days to Fluent English. I'm Peter, and today is a really special episode because you made it to the final day of this challenge.
That's right. Congratulations. Over the past 30 days, you've built new habits, improved your English, and taken a big step toward fluency. But here's the most important thing. This is not the end. It's actually the beginning of your English journey.
Many learners complete a challenge like this and then wonder, what do I do next? How do I keep improving? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
Learning English isn't something you do for just 30 days. It's a long-term process. But if you continue using the right methods, you'll keep improving naturally and reach fluency faster.
So today we're going to show you how to keep learning and improving after this challenge ends. In this episode, we'll cover how to continue building fluency through daily speaking practice, how to make English part of your everyday life so you don't lose progress, how to stay motivated and avoid frustration, and the best resources to help you improve long-term.
By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear step-by-step plan to keep making progress and reach real fluency.
So if you're ready to continue this journey and take your English to the next level, let's get started.
Keep building fluency with daily speaking practice.
Now that you've completed this 30-day challenge, the most important thing is to keep practicing. Many learners improve a lot during a course or challenge, but then they stop practicing and lose their progress.
That's right. Fluency is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. The best way to keep improving is to practice speaking every day, even if you don't have a speaking partner.
You might be thinking, how can I practice speaking if I don't have someone to talk to? Don't worry, there are many ways to practice speaking alone. Let's go through some simple but powerful methods.
Talk to yourself in English.
Yes, it might sound a little funny, but talking to yourself in English is one of the most effective ways to practice fluency.
Think about it. When you speak to yourself, you're still using English, forming sentences, and improving your ability to express ideas.
Here's how you can do it. Describe what you're doing. Now I'm making coffee. I'll add some sugar. Maybe I'll have tea instead. Talk about your day. Today was great. I met my friend and we went to a new restaurant. Pretend you're explaining something to someone. Let me tell you about my favorite movie. It's about a detective who...
The goal is to think in English and train your brain to form sentences naturally. The more you do this, the faster and smoother your speaking will become.
Record yourself speaking.
Another powerful way to improve your speaking is to record yourself and listen back. This helps you hear your pronunciation, grammar mistakes, and fluency.
Here's how you can do it. Choose a simple topic, like my morning routine or a book I read. Record yourself speaking for 1 to 2 minutes. Listen to your recording and find areas to improve. Repeat the process the next day and see your progress.
At first, you might feel shy or uncomfortable, but trust me, after a few days, you'll start to notice improvements in your pronunciation and fluency.
A great idea is to keep all your recordings and listen to them after 1 month. You'll be surprised at how much better you sound.
Join online speaking groups.
If you want real conversation practice, join an online speaking group. The best part is you don't need to travel or find a language partner in your city. You can practice with people from around the world.
Here are some great ways to find speaking partners online. Language exchange apps. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky let you chat and speak with native speakers and other learners. Speaking groups on Discord or Facebook. Many online communities organize free speaking practice sessions. Join an online course with live speaking practice. Some websites offer structured conversation practice sessions.
Speaking with real people will help you gain confidence and get used to real conversations.
Use the 1-minute speaking challenge.
If you want to train your brain to think and speak faster, try the 1-minute speaking challenge.
Here's how it works. Pick a topic, for example, my favorite food or a trip I took. Set a timer for 1 minute. Speak non-stop for the entire minute. Don't stop. Don't translate. Just keep talking. If you get stuck, use simple words to explain your idea.
This is a great way to train your brain to think in English. The more you do it, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
Why daily speaking is more important than long practice sessions.
Many learners think they need to study for hours to improve, but actually short daily practice is more effective than long sessions once a week.
For example, if you practice speaking for 10 minutes every day, that's 70 minutes per week. But if you only practice once a week for 1 hour, it's harder to remember what you learned.
The key to fluency is consistency. Even 5 to 10 minutes of speaking every day will help you improve faster than you think.
Let's review the best ways to keep improving your speaking fluency. Talk to yourself in English every day. Describe what you're doing, talk about your day, record yourself speaking, and listen for mistakes. Join online speaking groups and language exchange apps. Try the 1-minute speaking challenge to train your brain. Practice speaking for short periods every day. It's better than one long session.
Your challenge for today: choose one of these methods and try it. Even if you only have 5 minutes, practicing every day will help you reach fluency faster.
Now that we've covered speaking practice, let's move on to the next big step: how to make English part of your daily life.
Make English a part of your daily life.
One of the biggest secrets to fluency is not just studying English, it's living in English as much as possible. If you surround yourself with English every day, you'll improve naturally and quickly.
That's right. The more you hear, read, and think in English, the more comfortable it will feel. Learning doesn't just happen in a classroom, it happens in your daily life.
So let's go through some practical ways to make English part of your daily routine, so you can keep improving without even thinking about it.
Listen to English every day. Passive learning.
One of the easiest ways to improve is by listening to English as much as possible. Even if you're busy, you can add English listening into your daily activities.
Here are some simple ways to listen to English every day. Podcasts. Listen while commuting, exercising, or doing housework. Audiobooks. Choose a book you love and listen in English. YouTube videos. Watch English content about topics you enjoy. English music. Listen to songs and try to understand the lyrics.
For example, if you normally listen to music on your way to work, try switching to an English podcast instead. Over time, your brain will get used to the sounds and patterns of English.
Even if you don't understand every word, that's okay. The goal is to immerse yourself in the language.
Change your phone and apps to English.
A small but powerful trick is to change your phone and apps to English. Since we use our phones every day, this helps us think in English automatically.
Imagine this. Instead of reading Jiangji or camera, you see camera. Instead of sheiji or configuration, you see settings. It forces your brain to adapt to English quickly.
You can also do this with social media and websites. Follow English pages, read English news, and interact in English.
Even if you only change 1 or 2 apps, it will make a big difference over time.
Watch TV shows and movies in English.
Watching TV shows and movies in English is one of the best ways to improve listening and speaking skills.
But here's the trick. Don't just watch. Watch actively.
Here are 3 ways to use TV shows and movies to improve English. Use English subtitles. Read along while listening to native speech. Repeat short sentences. Pause and say them out loud to practice pronunciation. Mimic the actors. Copy their tone, expressions, and pronunciation.
Some great shows for learning English are Friends, The Office, and Modern Family, because they have natural conversations and useful phrases.
Start with subtitles, and as you improve, try watching without subtitles to train your ears.
Write in English every day.
Another great way to keep learning is by writing in English every day. Writing helps you organize your thoughts, improve grammar, and remember new words.
You don't need to write long essays. Just a few sentences a day is enough.
Here are some simple ways to practice writing. Write a short journal entry. Write 3 to 5 sentences about your day. Send text in English. Try messaging a friend in English. Comment on social media. Leave English comments on posts or videos. Write down new words. Keep a small notebook of new vocabulary.
For example, instead of writing in your native language before bed, try writing. Today was a busy day. I went to the park and had coffee with a friend. The weather was nice. Even this small habit will help you improve.
Think in English, the silent practice method.
One of the biggest fluency hacks is learning to think in English. If you stop translating in your head, you'll start speaking faster and more naturally.
Here's how to do it. Describe what you see. If you're on a bus, think, that person is reading a book. The bus is moving fast. Plan your day in English. Before bed, think, tomorrow I will wake up at 7 a.m. Then I'll have coffee. Ask yourself questions. What should I eat for lunch? Maybe I'll have a sandwich.
At first, it might feel strange, but soon, English will start feeling more natural in your brain.
Combine activities to save time.
Many learners say, I don't have time to study English, but the secret is, you don't need extra time. Just combine English with your daily activities.
Here's how you can learn English while doing other things. Listen to podcasts while commuting or exercising. Watch YouTube while eating lunch. Talk to yourself in English while cooking or cleaning. Think in English while taking a shower.
This way, you can improve every day without changing your schedule.
Let's review the best ways to make English a part of your daily life. Listen to English every day. Use podcasts, audiobooks, and music. Change your phone and apps to English. This forces you to read in English. Watch TV shows and movies actively. Use subtitles and repeat phrases. Write in English every day, journals, texts, and social media. Think in English. Describe what you see and plan your day in English. Combine English with your daily routine. Learn while doing other activities.
Your challenge for today, choose one of these methods and try it. Even small changes can help you improve quickly.
Now that we know how to keep English in our daily lives, let's move on to something very important: how to stay motivated and avoid frustration.
Stay motivated and avoid frustration.
One of the biggest challenges English learners face is staying motivated. At the beginning, learning a new language is exciting, but after a few months, many learners feel stuck and frustrated.
That's completely normal. Learning a language is a long journey, and sometimes progress feels slow. But the key to fluency is not giving up when things get difficult.
So let's talk about how to stay motivated, how to track your progress, and how to enjoy the learning process so that you never feel like quitting.
Set small, achievable goals.
One mistake many learners make is setting goals that are too big or too vague. For example, if your goal is, I want to be fluent, it can feel overwhelming because fluency takes time.
Instead, break it down into small, specific goals that you can achieve in a short time. Here are some examples. Vague goal. I want to learn more vocabulary. Clear goal. I will learn 5 new words every day. Vague goal. I want to improve my speaking. Clear goal. I will practice speaking for 10 minutes every day.
Small goals help you see progress, and every time you achieve a goal, you'll feel more confident.
Try this. Write down one small goal for the next 7 days. After 1 week, check your progress and set a new goal.
Track your progress to stay motivated.
Sometimes learners feel like they're not improving, but actually they are making progress. They just don't notice it.
That's why tracking your progress is so important. When you can see how much you've improved, it will motivate you to keep going.
Here are some fun ways to track your progress. Keep a language journal. Write down new words, phrases, and sentences every day. Record yourself speaking. Listen to your recordings from a month ago and compare. Use a progress chart. Create a checklist and mark off new things you learned. Test yourself. Take an online quiz every month to see your improvement.
It's amazing to look back and see how much you've learned. Even small improvements add up over time.
Try this. Today, write down something in English. In 1 month, write about the same topic again and compare your writing. You'll see how much you've improved.
Make learning fun so it doesn't feel like studying.
Let's be honest, if learning English feels boring or like hard work, it's easy to lose motivation. The secret is to make learning fun.
The best way to do this is to connect English with things you already enjoy. Here are some fun ways to learn. Like movies? Watch your favorite films in English. Love music? Learn the lyrics of English songs and sing along. Enjoy gaming? Play video games with English-speaking players. Interested in cooking? Follow English recipe videos on YouTube.
When you learn English through your hobbies, it won't feel like studying. It will feel like fun.
Try this. Think about something you love doing and find a way to do it in English. If you love reading, find a simple English book. If you love sports, watch English sports commentary.
Join a community and learn with others.
Another great way to stay motivated is to learn with other people. When you have friends or a community learning English with you, it's much easier to stay excited.
Here are some great ways to connect with other English learners. Join a language exchange group. Talk with other learners and practice together. Find an accountability partner. Have a friend who checks your progress. Participate in online challenges. Join 30-day challenges to stay motivated. Use social media. Follow English learning pages and comment in English.
Learning with others makes the process more fun and social, and you'll feel more motivated to keep going.
Try this. Find a study partner online or in your city and set a weekly challenge together. It could be a speaking challenge, a vocabulary challenge, or even a reading challenge.
Don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Many learners lose confidence because they're afraid of making mistakes. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning.
Think about how babies learn to speak. They make lots of mistakes, but they don't stop trying. And guess what? That's how they learn.
If you make a grammar mistake or mispronounce a word, don't feel embarrassed. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn.
Instead of saying, I made a mistake, that's bad, say, I made a mistake. Now I know how to say it correctly.
Try this. Speak English today without worrying about mistakes. Just focus on communication. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Let's review today's best ways to stay motivated. Set small, clear goals. Achievable goals keep you excited. Track your progress. Use a journal, recordings, or a checklist. Make learning fun. Use movies, music, and hobbies to learn English. Join a community. Find speaking partners or language groups. Don't fear mistakes. Every mistake is an opportunity to improve.
Your challenge for today. Pick one method from this list and try it. Set a goal, track your progress, or find a learning partner.
Now that we know how to stay motivated, let's move on to the best resources to help you continue learning long-term.
The best resources for long-term learning.
If you want to continue learning after this challenge, here are some great resources to help you keep improving.
For listening practice, try podcasts like The English We Speak or ESL Pod, YouTube channels that teach English naturally, audiobooks and TED Talks for advanced learners.
For speaking practice, try language exchange apps like HelloTalk or Tandem, online speaking clubs on platforms like Discord or Facebook. Shadowing exercises. Listen to a sentence and repeat it exactly like a native speaker.
For reading and vocabulary, try news websites like BBC Learning English. Graded readers, books written for English learners. Flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet to review new words.
Using a mix of different resources will help you improve all areas of your English.
Language and cultural expansion.
In English-speaking cultures, fluency isn't just about knowing words and grammar. It's about being able to communicate naturally.
Yes, one way to sound more natural is to pay attention to how native speakers express themselves. For example, in casual conversations, people often say, "That's awesome," instead of, "That is very good." I get what you mean. Instead of, "I understand you."
Also, different countries have different communication styles. In the US, people are more direct. In the UK, people use more indirect speech. In Australia, you'll hear a lot of slang.
Exposing yourself to different English accents and speaking styles will help you communicate better in real life situations.
Challenge, task, and conclusion.
All right, here's your final challenge for this 30-day journey.
Step 1. Make a plan for the next 30 days. Decide how you will continue practicing English. Step 2. Choose one new resource, a podcast, book, or app to use every day. Step 3. Set a small goal for next week, like learning 10 new words or practicing speaking for 5 minutes a day.
And in the comments, tell us, what's one thing you learned from this 30-day challenge that helped you the most?
This may be the end of the challenge, but it's just the beginning of your English journey. Keep going, keep learning, and you'll reach fluency.
Thank you for joining us on this 30-day challenge. We hope you keep practicing and improving.
Good luck, and remember, English is a journey, not a destination. Keep learning and have fun.
Bye for now.